Hello, Ducks fans, hockey fans in Orange County, California, United States, Finland, and all over the world. Happy Friday. Hope you guys are doing well. Alright, so with 16 games left, the Ducks being 8th place in the West Division, 29th place in the NHL, and being 12, 21, and 7, 31 points. Let's be honest. We know that this team is not going to the playoffs. With the weaknesses and the flaws I have mentioned, they're doing what needs to be best to ensure the development of some of their top prospects. I mean, looking on 3rd of April this month, the Ducks send Trevor Zegras, the Z-Man, to San Diego, ensuring that his development will become a bona fide centerman for the team, and working on him to ensure that he becomes a strong center for years to come. And with the skills that he's shown and the talent that he has displayed, it really made me smile to see that from him. I mean, it's really good to see. So some of you were a little bit, I wouldn't say divided, but some of you felt sending him back down will demoralize him. But in my own opinion, there's nothing wrong with sending Trevor Zegras down to ensure his development is proper, but also it helps boost his confidence and understanding into becoming a long-term contributor to the Ducks cause and our Anaheim Ducks in the long-term future. So don't be afraid. I can understand where you guys are coming from, but just keep in mind though, the Ducks have been basically, they have been in their habit, in their MO, have been very patient with some of their prospects. I mean, i.e. Ryan Getzlaf, Corey Perry, back when they were young, to, of course, to Cam Fowler, John Gibson, especially some of the players that have been acquired via trade or draft, free agent signings. They were prospects that became Mighty Ducks, Anaheim Ducks regulars. So it's common, it's normal. Now, many of you guys know that the season being winding down, including in a few weeks, many of you have seen or have stated basically on Twitter and on Facebook and on the Ducks message board your frustrations, your anger. Well, I wouldn't say your anger, your disappointment in the front office. I mean, I can't blame you. I can't blame how you feel. I mean, there's been many times I felt annoyed and questioned basically how this team that has not changed was allowed to develop, was given the benefit of doubt, and Bob Murray was given, I wouldn't say a shot. I mean, his tenure with our team is long overdue. I mean, he's been around since 2008, and Dallas Aikens a chance to hit the ground running, but sadly, it did not turn well. I mean, the losing streaks, the slumps, the players, many of the veteran players being snake bitten or not being able to score, that's becoming very problematic. I mean, the only trades that Bob has done was getting Alexander Volkov from Tampa Bay in exchange for Anton Moran. I really see this season personally, in my own opinion, as a trial and error. Trial and error that was based on a few things, based on willful stubbornness and a bit of ignorance on part of Ducks management, Ducks front office, basically general manager Bob Murray, and the not adjusting or not embracing some changes. You know, adding some youth, adding some new ideas to ensure the continuity and continuation of the Ducks' legacy of success and perseverance that we have come to admire over the past 28 years and seasons we have watched this team. Is the Ducks the worst that we've seen so far? I mean, that's debatable. There's been many seasons over the past 28 years and seasons the Ducks have fallen flat, fallen short. We're near the bottom of the league and bottom of the division. What else can you say? What else can you do? I mean, we've only 16 games left of the season, and being 12, 21, and 7, I mean, 31 points, that's not that's not a good record to be proud of. I mean, but then again, we have to remember very well that this roster, this 20th edition of our Ducks, have been going through a rebuild and a rejuvenation process that is going to test our patience, it's going to test our will, and test our loyalty to this team. I know it has done for many of you, including myself personally. Trust me, I know this very well. I mean, you can say that this team is, well, not you can say, but you can say that the management stubbornness allowed this to happen because they assume that it will be just like back in the early 1990s. But don't tell me that this team is worse. I mean, this team goes through a funk. This team goes through what is, in my opinion, a process that all sports teams have gone through. You look at the NFL, other NHL teams, Major League Baseball teams, even in NBA, they go through this one. I apologize to everybody. There's a lot of kids playing football or something. I don't know. It's a nice day out, so parents are letting their kids out to play. So. I mean, you could call this season a train wreck, or a lost. I don't see that. I don't see this as a lost season. I don't see this as kind of like a season of despair or nothing. I see this as a season of not just transition, but for a season the Ducks are basically through trial and error, through tough decisions, basically giving some of the young bucks and the young bloods in the rank and file of their roster a chance to learn what it means to be a Ducks player, learn what it means to play for the Ducks D, for the city of Anaheim. And that's how I see it. Was it frustrating to see the team lead? Absolutely it was. But they have to learn to win. They have to learn to play, not just for themselves, but for the fans, who on April 16th will be there to support them no matter what. And will disapprove of any lackluster play. So in regarding to the trade deadline, which is basically a few days away from now, the question remains, will they or won't they? Will the Ducks trade any player? Will the Ducks not trade any player? I mean, history teaches us, and not only teaches us, tells us widely, The Ducks' MO has always been to stand pat and allow their prospects and their players to develop within. I mean, hey, look, it's been part of their DNA since 1993. We know this very well. I mean, if they choose to trade players, it should not be a surprise to many of us. If we choose not to trade players, it should not about to be a surprise. So, in the long-term path going forward, once everything has been completed and the season is done, the Ducks have until hopefully by October to strategize and to plan and to reorganize and to do something like a reset to get this team back into the fight, back into being consistent, back into being the team we know and love. And we know this very well. We know this very well. I mean, we know this very well. I mean, I hate to repeat myself most of the time, but then again, if you have followed this team as much as I have, and much as you guys have, you know well this team has the potential to be great. And that's the truth. Now, regarding to the Getzlaf rumors, I've read on Twitter that one sports pundit, who should remain nameless, suggested that he won't be surprised that he would hang up his skates. Now, as much as I want Getzlaf to tie and break the Ducks' all-time points record of 988, held by Ducks legend Teemu Selanne, I mean, I won't be sad if he decides to hang up his skates. I mean, he has accomplished a lot for the past 15 years. He's been with our team. I mean, won the Stanley Cup at a young age, at 20 years of old, with former Duck Corey Perry. Won 2 Olympic medals, World Junior medal, you name it. You know, he even participated in World Hockey Championships in 2008 in Halifax, where I'm from. So I can't say enough about him, but excuse me. They call him the heart and soul. I mean, he's the long-term and captain of the Ducks, and also the longest-serving player on the Ducks. So if he decides to go just that route of like hanging up and want to spend time with his family, all power to him, man. I mean, hey, man, look, we all work together, we all pay our dues. He paid his dues, even though that some of us may find his laid-back drop passes the most annoying thing ever at the Honda Center. He did make his mark on the Ducks. I mean, he is the last player from the 2007 Stanley Cup Championship team, which our Anaheim Ducks have made history. He has been through the ups and downs, so. And he deserves to have the number 15 raised to the rafters, alongside Ducks legend Teemu Selanne, Paul Kariya, Scott Niedermayer, and maybe, hopefully, J.S. Jaguar. Now, what would happen there is that we should not be surprised or disappointed. I mean, the Ducks are what they are. They like to focus on the players within, developing within. It's very, very natural for them. And as many of us are counting down to the end of this disappointing season, we should understand that there are many positives of this season, but positives including the milestone chases. I mean, Getzlaf was 8 points out chasing Teemu Selanne's, well, not Teemu Selanne's, the all-time Ducks record for most points, and Zegras was about, I think, 10 shutouts away from tying the all-time shutout for Ducks goalies. Those were the pluses. And I know that this season was not what we had in mind, what we wanted for. I mean, would I like to see the Ducks hit the ground running? Yes. Would I like to see the Ducks go on a tear? Absolutely. But we know that if the Ducks need to go forward, they have to do something. And trades may be the only solution. So, and also personnel changes. Bob Murray has been around for too long, and Aikens is losing support among Ducks fans, which doesn't surprise me. I mean, I don't think he is basically the coach we want in the long term. I mean, but then again, there needs to be, as I said in previous videos, a plan to ensure some sort of continuation, some sort of line that the strategies of the team will not, and the chemistry they build will not be disrupted. So, just enjoying the sun. So, there's a car. Here, thank you. So, I really see the positives in being, the youth, basically, like the Zegras, Z-Man, and Drysdale. Drysdale is still up with the club, so I'm looking forward to see what those two do. And with only 16 games left, many of you among the Ducks fan base and the message board and Facebook, Twitter, Instagram have given up on this season and believe tanking would be the only solution. Let me ask you one thing. I don't believe in tanking. I don't believe that the Ducks should throw away those 16 games. My personal opinion is this. I believe tanking will solve nothing. Tanking is just a waste of time. So, with only 16 games remaining for this season, I would rather want the Ducks to win as many games as they can in the last 16 games. If they can win all 16 games, hey, that's good with me. If they can win at least half of those games, it's all good. It doesn't matter, man. What matters is, in the long term, and the objective is to get as many wins possible and hope for the best when it comes to draft lottery. As I said again, I don't believe in tanking. I don't believe that the Ducks need to tank. I mean, there's no point of tanking. You look at all the teams that have tanked, okay? Islanders, Ottawa Senators in the 1990s. They had number one draft picks and number one prospects, and they ended up being busts. So don't expect me to believe what I read on the bull crap or what you say, because very carefully and very honestly, it's not going to look good for the fans. It's not going to look for the players. It's not going to look for good for anyone, for goodness sakes. So, with only 4 days to go, I'm just looking forward to see what the Ducks will do. Not just in the games wise, but also in the trade. If they decide to trade some players, I'm all for it. I have nothing against some of the vets, but in the long term, the Ducks need to be rejuvenated, reinvigorated, if they plan on to become successful and once again become that dominant force we love to overcome any obstacles in the NHL. As I said before, they are good, but they're not that good. They have the potential to be great. And that is the honest truth. Well, my truth, personally. But most of you can disagree with what I have to say. And as far as everything goes, I'm interested to see what the Ducks will do next. If they can build a momentum and finish this season strong, on positive, on a winning note, then it will be a plus. If Getzlaf could tie the Ducks' all-time record, then that's another milestone, which is another plus for this disappointing short season. So, if we could just not focus on the negative and focus on the positives, because this team will be back. This team will rise again. This team will crush their enemies and their rivals. It can happen. It will happen before. So, I'd rather not despair. And I'd rather look, when I look forward, I hopefully look forward to the team coming back from near the bottom and crush any enemy, rivals, and opposition to once again win the Stanley Cup. So, till then, I'll see you guys soon.